Okay, before we get started today, I want to do just a quick note on pronunciation. So today we're going to be learning about this artist named Raphael. That's pronounced Ra-Phi-El. Ra-Phi-El. Our learning target for today is that I will be able to identify the big accomplishments of Raphael and Michelangelo. I want you to think back. What were Michelangelo's big artistic accomplishments? That's right, the David, the Pietà, and the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. Why was Michelangelo's David so impressive? That's right, it was a huge slab of marble that multiple artists had failed at carving before him, and he was able to transform it into something remarkable. Today, our only vocabulary word is Madonna, and Madonna is just another way to identify Mary, the mother of Jesus. No, it's not the singer Madonna. It is Mary, the mother of Jesus. Please open up to page 38. Put your finger under the word Raphael. As we're reading today, I'd like you to be thinking about why Raphael had several patrons who were ready to pay him to paint. That's the first thing that I want you to be reading for. Follow along with me, please. Raphael was another talented artist of the period. He was born Raffaello Sanzio in 1483 CE. He was younger than both Leonardo and Michelangelo. Raphael lost both of his parents at an early age. By 11, he was on his own, working as an apprentice in a busy art studio. In 1504, when Raphael was 21, he moved to Florence, where Michelangelo and Leonardo were already living. There, he studied the techniques of the older artists and learned to use them in his own paintings. Remember, in those days, artists supported themselves by getting commissions from patrons. The wealthy people of Florence were eager to own beautiful paintings. By the time Raphael arrived, both Leonardo and Michelangelo were not painting as much. As he aged, Leonardo grew more interested in math and science and was reluctant to paint at all. Michelangelo's energies were consumed by big projects assigned to him by the Pope. So, young Raphael had many people ready to pay him to paint. I want you to pause here. Why were so many people ready to pay him to paint? That's right. Leonardo had basically stopped painting, and Michelangelo was so busy with big projects that were given to him by the Pope. Okay, we're on the fourth paragraph, while in Florence. Put your finger under the word while and follow along with me. While in Florence, Raphael created at least 17 paintings of the Madonna, or the Mother of Jesus, and the Holy Family for various individuals. If you look at one of Raphael's Madonnas and compare it to a Madonna painted during the Middle Ages, you will see how people's view of the world changed in the Renaissance. In the medieval image, the Madonna looks a little stiff, but the painting wasn't intended to be lifelike. Its main purpose was to express religious devotion. However, Raphael's painting is different. He presents natural human figures that are so lifelike, it is as if they could step out from the painting. So let's look at the images on pages 38 and 39. What similarities do you see and what differences do you see? Here are a few more depictions of the Madonna by Raphael. And if you compare these, so this is Mary, if you compare these to the medieval painting on page 38, you can just see how much more lifelike she actually looks. Let's flip the page to page 41. Put your finger under the word in at the top of the page, please. As we read, I want you to be thinking about what the second big accomplishment was of Raphael's that we've read about. So what is another one of his big accomplishments? What is he famous for? In 1508 CE, Raphael was called to Rome by Pope Julius II. While Michelangelo was painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, Raphael was put in charge of painting a series of rooms in the Vatican. In one room, he painted a fresco, or mural, that has become very famous. It is called the School of Athens. The composition of the painting shows how Raphael was a great master of perspective, while the subject matter shows how much the Renaissance movement admired the ancient Greeks. Raphael painted many scholars and philosophers. Some are reading, some are discussing big ideas. In the center of the painting, Raphael placed the great philosophers Plato and Aristotle. After Raphael's patron, Pope Julius II, died, Raphael became a special favorite of Pope Leo X. Leo put Raphael in charge of the work on St. Peter's Basilica. In addition, Raphael directed the efforts to dig up and study ancient buildings and statues in Rome. Raphael led a productive life. The artist died on his 37th birthday. Part of the epitaph on his tomb in Rome reads, "While he lived, he made Mother Nature fear to be vanquished by him." So what was another one of Raphael's big accomplishments? That's right, the School of Athens painting. And why is the School of Athens a good example of humanist or Renaissance art? That's right, because the subject matter is all about the ancient Greeks. Remember, the humanists look back to ancient Greece, and he uses perspective to show depth in the painting. Here's a full view of the whole painting. And a fun side note, in this painting where Plato is, Raphael actually used Leonardo da Vinci's face instead of Plato's. Up here in the front, this is actually Michelangelo's face. And then off here to the right is actually the artist, Raphael's face. So he was kind of sneaky and stuck them in there. Also, Raphael was not a big fan of Michelangelo and vice versa. So maybe that's why he put Michelangelo off by himself here, kind of looking sullen and angry. Now that we have read about Raphael, I want you to update your artist notes. What are the big things that Raphael is famous for? Add them to your artist notes.